the face of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Now this is a very important point. The individual intending the face of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He say, وَمُلْتَزِمًا بِشَرْعِ اللَّهِ, and he is, barakallahu fikum, holding firmly upon the sharia of Allah. So he's not defending himself because he knows how to defend himself. Faqat. But rather he's defending himself because of what? This is what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam has commanded him to do. In some instance. And this is the permissibility they have given him to defend himself. So while he's defending himself, yanwi wajh Allah, he intends the face of Allah. While he's defending himself, it's not because he knows how to defend himself. I'm going to show this joker that I'm not the one to mess with. I'm not the one. But rather he's doing it, walhamdulillah, intending the face of Allah, and barakallahu fikum wa multaziman bi shar'illah, and holding firm upon the legislation of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He say, laysa mujarrat ad-difa' anin nafs. It is not just to defend one yourself. It is not just you defending yourself, but rather you doing it for the face of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Holding firm upon what? Upon the legislation, upon the sharia of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. He say, لِأَنَّ الْأَعْمَالِ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, for indeed all action are judged by their intention. All action are judged by their intention. Right? كما في حديث من? عمر ibn al-Khattab. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Right? So he mentioned Hafidhahullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abahali, meaning the person will say himself, Allah abahali wa ajazali bal awjabali ad-difa' an nafsi wa mali wa azwaji li dhalika. He say Hafidhahullah, he say that, but rather the person will say to himself, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He has made it permissible for me. He has even made it wajib upon me to defend myself, to defend my wealth, and to defend my wife. Allah has allowed me to do so. So that's the reason why, barakallahu fikum, He is doing it. Not to show this guy that I can take you down. Not to show this guy that I can subdue you. And this is to show, barakallahu fikum, at every single level, at every single situation of our lives, the intention, akhi, is important. The intention is very important, barakallahu fiqh. The intention is very, very important. What is your intention behind doing this? What is your intention behind doing this? The intention is very, very important. That's why, alhamdulillah, the person always have to check his intention. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. All deeds. He didn't specify the deeds. I mean, talking about, he say, all إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ, all the deeds. All the deeds, they are by what? They are by the intention. So the individual, he's saying to himself that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has allowed me, ajazali, bal awjabali, right? But rather he even has made it an obligation upon me to defend myself, to defend my wealth, and to defend my wife. So this is the reason why, barakallahu fikum, the person is doing it. Not just to defend himself. Not just to, barakallahu fikum, just because he can defend himself, he's just jumping. La, but rather, first and foremost, to check upon his intention. Why am I doing this? And alhamdulillah, if all of us, barakallahu fikum, we check back on our intention, you will realize, barakallahu fikum, you will realize that a lot of foolishness will be on the way, out of the way. If we all check ourselves, why am I saying this? Why am I doing this? Okay, you will realize that a lot of foolishness will be out of the way. And don't let the shaitan convince you of something that shaitan convincing you, or you doing it for Allah. Why? Because that action is self. If shaitan is convincing you about the action that it is for Allah, know that that action is batil. Know that this action is batil. And sometimes it happens. Now you be, barakallah, in a situation that you saying to yourself, I'm doing it for Allah. But come to realize, if it is detailed for you, that ala butlani ma kunta fi, that you will realize that your intention was not for Allah. It was rather for something else. It was rather for something else. This is why, alhamdulillah, one has to check his intention. Akhi, check it and double check it and double check it. If not, yawm al-qiyamati, that you will go with all these deeds, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it what? فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. Allah will make it a scattered dust. I mean, the individual has done very much in his life. Done a whole lot in his life. While people were sleeping, you were doing this. While people were sleeping, you were studying. While people were doing this, you were doing that which you deem to be beneficial. And indeed, it might be beneficial. But what was the reason why you were doing it? Now, this is a very good check-in for all of us, barakallahu feekum. All of us, alhamdulillah. All of us. The person, when I open the book, reading it, and this is where it is the microphone is a very dangerous tool, barakallahu feekum. A very dangerous tool. A very dangerous tool. The safest seat is, alhamdulillah, to sit where, barakallahu feekum, you won't be hurt, or might not even be seen. But being in a spot where you can be heard or seen, akhi, that, alhamdulillah, the individual has to fight himself a whole lot, not to be doing things to please the people or to impress the people. And this is all of us, barakallahu feekum. All of us, that because at one point that we will all have, where we'll be the one speaking. Or we'll be the one detailing these things or taking care of these matters. Now, what is my intention behind that? Am I doing it to, alhamdulillah, so I can, show the brother that I'm, got this under down pack? Or am I doing this to impress Abdul Rahman? What am I doing? This is very important, barakallahu feekum. This is very, very, very important that we all check what is our intention in things. Especially those things that we do on the daily routine. We do it continuously. Every day we do it. We do it all the time. We got to check on those, alhamdulillah. Likewise, other things that are important that we do that we have to double check. The Sahaba, they were very, 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 very meticulous about their intention. To the point that they used to say that having the right intention was more difficult than the action. Having the right intention was more difficult than the action. What else is more difficult than the action? What else is more difficult than the action? That's before the action. But you can really explain it a little better. Ikhlas in what sense? Right, the person he did it for Allah. This action is done for Allah. Umar. Right? After safeguarding your action, preserving your action. That's more difficult than the action itself. Right? The action, right? Alhamdulillah. Preserving it is more difficult than that action. Just like having the right intention is more difficult than the action. Akhi, how many times people, right, going on diet, they might be on that on that lemon juice diet. Not vinegar diet, on the lemon juice diet, right? All they do is lemon juice, right? All they do is that lemon juice because whatever diet that they upon, right? Good for us, right? Akhi, if his intention or her intention, now he might be drinking that lemon juice once a day, which is after Maghrib. He won't drink nothing the whole day except after Maghrib, right? So you would say what? Amsaka anil akal wal shurb. He refrained from food and drink. Now, do we call it fasting? No. Why? Because he didn't have that intention. Right? So that action, barakallahu feekum, of not doing, it was difficult. But alhamdulillah, having a proper intention is more difficult than the action itself. And after that, the person put forth the action and put it properly. Right? Khalisan sawaban. He doing it with ikhlas, and he doing it with mutaba'ah, meaning following the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. Now what is more difficult, barakah, is safeguarding that action. You could have helped a person 20 years ago. I mean, you helped him, alhamdulillah, he didn't pay his rent, and you gave him $2,000. Tell him, akhi, let nobody hear this. This is between me and you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm not doing it for no favors in return. 20 years later, you reminded him, you remember when you were broke and I took you out of the situation? Now, akhi, that money is gone. You don't have it no more because you haven't preserved your action. Just because the man look at you funny, or just because the man start saying something about you or about your family, now you start exposing all your good deeds to him. Akhi, you know what you did? You have put all your good deeds and, pour some gasoline and then just, put a fire on it. It's done. You turn it to ashes. Now safeguarding our deeds, barakallahu fikum, this is amrun muhim. It's a very important matter. Very important matter, barakallah. Let none of us, alhamdulillah, brag about what they have done for the other one. Let none of us brag about what they have accomplished. Let none of us brag about what we have achieved. Doing that, barakallah fiikum, it is to nullify all those efforts that you have done. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all a good end. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to purify our intention for every single action that we put forth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be from those who will see Him in the Jannah. We ask Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala to cure the sickness of those among us that are sick. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify their sicknesses. We ask Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala to give them their health back and to allow them to go back to their daily routine activities. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. In kana fihi ayyi khata, if there was any mistake, jazakumullahu khaira. Rectify me, may Allah ta'ala rectify you. Subhanaka Allahumma rabbana wa hamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayhi. I wear my glasses. I didn't do nothing.
You finished it already.
Sorry. Next time.
Yeah, next time.
Well, I'm sure.
That was earlier.